I think it's time for another crypto video. This is a dollar. This is a Doge. This is the average price of a dog. This is the average price of a Doge. This is the market cap of dogs. This is the market cap of Doge. If you've been on Reddit or have been exposed to memes in the past, you've likely seen this. And if you follow finance news or are personally into finance, you've probably heard of Dogecoin, Dogecoin, or Dogecoin, whichever pronunciation you like the most. So in this video, we're going to talk about the potential of Dogecoin, whether or not it's too late to invest into it because it's hit its peak, or maybe it's going back down, or if this is just the beginning of a legitimate currency. So a little bit about the background of Dogecoin. Mainly popularized into the mainstream by Elon Musk and his tweets, Dogecoin started off as a joke between two software engineers when they decided to start their own cryptocurrency, combining two of the most popular things at the time, Bitcoin and the Doge meme. And it was developed off of another open source software of another cryptocurrency called Litecoin. And Dogecoin's history can be categorized into two main events. The first one happened on Reddit, and the second one happened on TikTok. So when Dogecoin was open to be used on Reddit, it exploded, and within a week of launch, it became the second most popular currency that was used on the site. It mainly became popular around 2013 because it was seen as a more accessible form of Bitcoin, since for many people, the barrier of entry for Bitcoin was just too high. And since it started off as a joke, it automatically seemed easier for people just to throw some money into it, just for the sake of that joke. It wasn't even close to something as official as Bitcoin. And the second main event that spurred the popularity of Bitcoin was on TikTok. So Bitcoin saw another surge when a user on TikTok made Dogecoin a trend. In his viral video, he talked about how Bitcoin was basically useless in practical terms, and if all 800 million users on TikTok put $25 into Dogecoin, they could bring the overall valuation of the currency to $1, and everybody would have $10,000 in their bank account. Of course, looking back now, we can see that not all 800 million people bought into Dogecoin, but at that time, it was a big enough pump to see a significant price increase. Due to the popularity of the trend, the currency saw a 683% increase in price. So let's first talk about the positives. Elon Musk put a tweet out a while back saying that he's going to send Dogecoin to the moon, so that alone is going to send the price of Dogecoin, well, to the moon. Looking at its current price, it's definitely dropped a bit, but definitely don't count it out because just one tweet from Elon Musk hinting at Dogecoin is going to send the price soaring back up. The increases in price of Dogecoin have almost always been synonymous with the tweets that Elon Musk puts out. And due to its recent popularity, a few organizations have now started to accept Dogecoin to purchase their items and services. And if it proves to be successful, other companies might start jumping in, bringing in a wider adoption, and thus bringing up the price even more. And looking at the history of Dogecoin, it's also stood the test of time. It's been around for 8 years now, and the fact that it's survived so long can be an argument alone. And if you look at its price throughout the years, it's always gone up. But what about the negatives? Unlike Bitcoin, there's constantly an influx of Dogecoin entering the market, and so you could define it as an inflationary currency. Whereas for Bitcoin, there will only ever be 21 million in existence, and after all of them are mined, the price of one Bitcoin will only ever be increasing in value. So there isn't much incentive for people to be holding Dogecoin to constantly keep the price up, since its characteristics will make people want to spend it if possible, like cash or the US dollar. And even though I've heard that the Dogecoin community is pretty strong and tight-knit, even then, I assume that not all of them will keep holding this currency until there's mass adoption, and a few of them will fall out and take their profits just to be safe. And there's also the argument that since Dogecoin came from the open source software of Litecoin, that when comparing them technically they aren't that much different, but the community would also argue that it's the origins of how it came to be that give Dogecoin its value. And I don't think I can make this Dogecoin video without mentioning the most recent SNL episode that Elon Musk hosted. I would say that overall the people thought of the show as a, what do you call it? A disappointment. when Elon Musk hosted SNL last Saturday, the whole Dogecoin community and so many others thought that he was going to pump the currency up to $1 per coin. Sadly, that didn't happen, and you could argue that he did exactly the opposite. We saw an initial pump right before the episode started, probably coming from all the hype surrounding it, but throughout the show, we saw it dip for an amount of time and slowly recovered to around where it was right before the show started. In the opening segment of the show, Elon Musk and his mother mentioned Dogecoin near the end.
And I'm excited for my Mother's Day gift. I just hope it's not Dogecoin.
But so many people thought that it would be mentioned more. And throughout the show, in the various skits that he was in, many thought that there were a lot of missed opportunities for him to hint or mention Dogecoin and incorporate it into one of their skits. But sadly, that didn't happen, which was where you could see the price of Dogecoin starting to dip. But there was one skit that one could argue was primarily dedicated to Dogecoin, and that was where Elon Musk and a news reporter were in a skit, and he was questioned to explain what exactly Dogecoin was. So I think that was a relief for a lot of people, and also the catalyst to bring the price up from its initial dip. But even then, so many people thought of it as a missed opportunity, and I don't think we ever saw the price of Dogecoin rise up to where it was right before the show started. So looking at Dogecoin and what it's done so far, do I think the currency has potential? I think yes, but does that mean it's safe? No. Personally, I think that even though there are factors that will bring the price up, which is great and all, but I haven't found a catalyst or a reason as to why it will continue to stay up. I mean, looking at recent events, just one tweet alone from Elon Musk yesterday crashed the price of pretty much all the cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin lost tens of thousands of dollars in an instant just from the announcement alone that Tesla will no longer be accepting Bitcoin for buying their Teslas. And since a lot of the factors about Dogecoin do depend on certain people and what they think about it, and if at any point those few people do decide that they don't want to back it anymore, the price could very well go down and stay there. And there also seems to be a saying that most of the Dogecoin is owned by a few select people. So if at any point those select people decide that they don't want to back Dogecoin anymore, the moment they sell it, it's going to take the price. But that's also assuming that the people who own a lot of Bitcoin aren't diehard believers of its potential. So should you invest to it? I think it depends. If you have money on the side that you wouldn't mind losing, in the past we've seen that Dogecoin has made a couple of people instant millionaires. I personally think that even though we know that there are certain factors that affect the price, like Elon Musk and the Dogecoin community in general, until there's even more widespread adoption of the currency and even more people learn of it and are aware of its existence, it's not going to be a stable investment. But at the same time, seeing how far it's come and how much it's grown, definitely don't count it out as something that's not going to have another exponential growth spurt. But that being said, I know I didn't cover all of the positives and negatives of Dogecoin because 1, I'm not a financial advisor, and if you decide to invest any amount of money into crypto, you should be doing your own research. And 2, I consider myself someone learning about the Dogecoin community and Dogecoin in general very late into the game, and so these are just some of the things that I've learned over the past few weeks. But hopefully you found some of this interesting or learned something new. And like always, if you made it to the end of this video, you clearly didn't find me too boring, so go ahead and click the subscribe button down below. But that's been it for this one. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon in the next video.